So several weeks ago, I made a video talking about the strangest strange counterparts within TF2 and said towards the end that I will be making a sequel eventually in which I'll be designing more strange parts we don't currently have. I sat on today's video for a bit, however, as I wanted to make sure that anyone who wanted to submit any strange part ideas had enough time to get their submissions in, and I feel it's been long enough, so that's where we are today. In this video, I will be presenting to you several strange counterparts we don't currently have in TF2, and then I will be designing icons for them. Most of these strange parts are ones that I genuinely feel are missing from the core roster of strange parts and would be a wonderful thing to have in TF2, and some of them are maybe just how you say, a bigger stretch of the imagination. Before we continue though, please subscribe if you're liking this video so far and you'd like to see similar minded videos in the future, and if you really would like to see a second part to this, do let me know. I'm not currently planning to make one at all, but if several people comment ideas that they're absolutely foaming at the mouth that I didn't include in this video, I would be more than happy to make a part 2 to this. Alright then, let's begin. So this first one, to me anyway, is a pretty obvious one, yet at the same time I fully understand why it's not in the game. So for just a small amount of context, every single class has a unique strange parts counter in which you can track the number of times you've killed that class. This makes sense of course, as a pyro I want to see the amount of spies I've taken down, yet at the same time there are no counters that specifically track the number of Demoknights you've killed. Now obviously there is the Demo Man counting strange part, and Demoknight isn't the 10th class, he is just a subclass, yet at the same time I also feel it wouldn't be too hard to program this in. You just have to make it so that it would activate on someone who's carrying the boots and the shield, so I guess this would technically also cover Demo Pants. So if this were in the game, I'd want it to look a little something like this. So I simply just go to the TF2 wiki and take any achievement that has any of Demo's swords in it, and then just edit it onto a strange counterpart. For the record, this is how all the strange counterparts will look, as all the strange counterparts normally take achievement icons and just put them onto this tiny little screen, so this is how they'll all end up looking. So yeah, the first core one I feel is missing from the roster of strange counterparts is Demoknights Killed. I don't feel we really need to do this for any other subclass, as none of them are really as prominent as Demoknight, but if I had to make another strange part for a subclass, it would be for Soldier. However, Airborne Enemies Killed is already another strange part, so it seems a bit redundant, so I'm perfectly fine with sticking just to Demoknight for now. Okay, so this next one genuinely surprised me, as I did not know that environmental kills was not a strange part. As there are loads of achievements tied to getting environmental kills, I just naturally assume there'll be a strange part for it as well. Now I guess you could make the argument that there are a few weapons in TF2 that are truly knockback focused, for example like the Force of Nature or the Scorch Shot, but to that I say every weapon that deals damage can deal knockback to an extent, so every weapon that deals damage can get environmental kills. And I feel that people who play on maps like Hightower or Sawmill would be really interested in having this strange part on some of their favourite weapons. So let's design one. So like I said earlier, there are loads of achievements tied to getting environmental kills, so all I needed to do was take an icon from one of those and just put it onto the strange part. So my general rule of thumb for coming up with these strange parts is, if it's an achievement, it can exist as a strange part, and Valve seems to agree, as this is the kind of philosophy they seem to follow with the strange parts as well. So, with all this being said, I still don't understand why environmental kills is not an existing strange part in TF2, and I really feel like it should be. Okay, so there are still lots of strange parts that I've yet to cover that I feel should really just exist within the base game. However, let's take a break from those and cover some of the ideas I've come up with. My favourite of which has to be a really simple idea called Melee Duels Won. So how this part would work is that if you defeat someone who's holding their melee with your melee, you get 1 point towards this part. This is a really simple idea, as it just doesn't need to be too complex. Some of my favourite moments in TF2 are when you pull out your melee, do a little wiggle, then the enemy pulls out his melee, does a little wiggle, and then you both try to fish for melee kills. And personally, I'd love to see how many of those interactions I've won. So when looking for an icon for the Demoknights Killed strange counterpart, I accidentally found this icon as well, and it was just so cool I had to reuse it, and that's basically where the inspiration for this part came from. Now, the corner of the escape plan in this image is naturally cut off, so I did try to fix it. However, after fagging away at this for about 5 minutes, I realised this was kind of pointless, as it just wasn't probably going to show up in the video, so I hope it's barely noticeable as is. But yeah, I just really like the idea of this part. It's cheeky, and I don't entirely know how it will work on some scenarios, like for example, if the enemy was holding out their melee and the spy backstabbed them, I don't know if it would trigger then, but this idea overall is just cool, and I'd really like to see it in the game someday. Now for this next one, I feel this might trigger a few people. However, if you're getting annoyed at what a young British boy has to say on the internet about a video game, you've got much bigger problems going on in your life. But when it comes to strange counterparts, I'd love to see the amount of comp medal wearing players I've killed. So in case you don't know, this is what a comp medal looks like, and this is what someone who wears a comp medal acts like.
Hey guys, did you catch that esports game last night?
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
caught
dude.
the
I can't believe how
football
close
game
I
last
got.
night.
Like,
My
that
favorite's when
pass
they
to
capture
Braithwaite
the
to
flag
Johnson
and
in
then
the second quarter.
go back
Like,
to
dude.
the...
Attention gamers! I am better than you at this game. Please pay attention to me.
Soundsmith, I'm really sorry for including that. Anyway, yeah, this stereotype is 100% true, and I'd love to see the amount of people I've killed wearing these medals. So the reason why I think it's fine to include the strange parts like this is because last time I covered strange parts, I expressed my disconcern in that a lot of them seem deliberately designed to make other players rage. I didn't necessarily like this, yet the comments section told me that making players rage is a core part of game design, which I thought was quite funny. But the more I thought about this, the more I realised that the comment section was probably right on this one, as there seem to be lots of achievements deliberately tied to making people rage, and the fact that taunts are called taunts and not emotes helps. So yeah, play angry good, not much else to be said. Cry if you'd like, let's move on. So in the intro, I mentioned that I originally sat on this video for a little bit as I wanted to make sure that anyone who wanted to submit any strange part ideas could have enough time to get their choices in, after which we only got one submission. I got a comment from someone called That, who said that we should have a strange part that counts the number of friendly buildings you've upgraded, and I 100% agree, and I can't believe there are no wrenches that naturally track this. But to be fair, TF2 strange wrenches have always seemed like a bit of a strange case to me, because for example, the Southern Hospitality is the only strange wrench that does not level up with sentry kills. Why does it not level up with... So I found a cooperative engineering achievement which had these two wrenches as the icon, and I just thought, well, that's perfect. So yeah, I see no reason for this not to exist. Adding this strange part is not going to make people suddenly want to start stacking engineers just to level up a very niche part of their wrench, but I guess maybe the reason why it doesn't exist is either A, because Valve hasn't thought of it, or B, because most people that do upgrade buildings as engineers tend to be free-to-players and they tend not to have strangers. But if the wrenches naturally count both your wrench kills and your sentry kills, I see no reason for them not to naturally count this as well. Hi, big fan, post-editing Quidor here. So, whilst editing this section, I realised that there's no strange part that counts the amount of building health you've healed on a wrench. So, yeah, I just decided to quickly make this as well. Had to remove the orange background from this image, which was a shame, but oh well. I feel this is another thing stock wrenches could potentially include, as I don't really feel just having, you know, the wrench kills and then the sentry kills is enough. The stock wrench and how it interacts with the buildings is very complex, so I feel it should have more representation with its stats. And then this bit here as well was also a rather tedious edit, as I had to actively take a section from the background of this image and then just replicate it as it was naturally cut off. But if they don't want to add this to the base part of the weapon anyway, they could at least add these as strange parts. So yeah, I just thought that was a cute thing to make, and back to the rest of it, I guess. Alright then, so we are now on our third to last strange part, and for this one I'm going to need to give a small bit of context. So you see there is both a Spies Killed strange part and a cloaked Spies Killed strange part, but there is no disguised Spies Killed strange part. And I really don't understand why. If they went through the effort of making a cloaked Spies one, surely they could go through the double effort to make a disguised Spies one. This is another one of those strange parts that I really just don't know why it doesn't exist. When two of them exist, I don't know why there isn't a third to complete the trio. But I am nothing if not benevolent, so if I were to design one, it would look like this. This was a bit of a longer edit as I wasn't too happy with it at first, so I guess I should explain how I'm doing these. So I'm making these edits in a free program called Krita. Krita is the greatest thing on earth. It's a free drawing, animation, photo editing program, and it's just great. And I'm making these edits by taking achievement icons from the wiki and basically just kind of editing them onto this blank strange parts which I had to make. I'm using a mixture of the blend tool and colouring in the background with a dark grey, all being done on my drawing tablet. I have a very, very small, very cheap drawing tablet that gets the job done incredibly well. So yeah, I love Krita. Krita, if you're watching this, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to be a sponsor. So yeah, I have no clue why Spies in Disguise isn't a strange part. Yet I also feel at the same time, out of all of the strange parts on this list, this is the one that should have been in the base game the most. Is what I would say if it weren't for this next one. Ladies and gentlemen, before I tell you what this next strange part is, I should let you know that Valve is a company, and at the end of the day, their whole goal is to make a profit. Strange parts can only be unboxed from crates, and therefore they add another level of randomness to this already unrandom unboxing system, therefore designed to make you spend more money to get what you want. This, as scummy as it is a sound business practice that is tried and tested. But what I can't understand for the life of me in terms of both business practices, pleasing players, and just making sense is that there is no strange part that counts assists for weapons. Yeah, maybe the build up there wasn't worth it. Anyway, the reason why I'm so mad for this is that there is a strange part that counts assists for cosmetics only. there is not one for weapons. This, to me, it is just baffling in every single sense. I feel the majority of this video is basically just been me say like I'm a dog and Valve has been blowing in my face and I've constantly been confused over and over again and I have no clue what's going on. I don't know why they're doing... Yeah, maybe it's not a very good analogy. Anyway, I just don't understand why this doesn't exist for weapons. I mean, yeah, we could just take the exact same part and just put it on weapons as well. But I decided to make a new icon anyway, just because I was at it. So there's that. But for the life of me, I cannot understand why this does not exist for weapons and only exists for cosmetics. There must be a good reason for this, and if you can let me know down in the comments as to what it is, I would be very, very thankful. But I don't really have anything else to say with this. Let's move on to the last one. So the final strange part I'm going to cover today is a bit of a joke and a bit of a callback to the previous video in which I covered strange parts, because whilst I was making that previous video, some Guilty Gear woman, who I now know is called ABBA, was released and was just everywhere on YouTube, and it was really annoying, and she was just everywhere. I'm not a Guilty Gear player, yet YouTube somehow thought I was the world's biggest Guilty Gear fan or something, and I just couldn't escape her for the life of me. So in that video, I jokingly said that if I could add any strange parts of the game, it would be number of Guilty Gear players killed. And, well, just to top onto that, let's make a strange part that counts the number of ABBA mains you've killed. I'm not going to pretend to care as to how this would work. Maybe, for example, if you have Guilty Gear downloaded on Steam and you play the set amount of hours on ABBA, then it would trigger every time you killed an opponent. I really don't know. But consider this strange part a love letter to not only how well the last video did, but also how much I now hate Guilty Gear. And let me know who the most annoying character to fight in Guilty Gear is, because if I do make a sequel to this video, I'll make a strange part for them as well. And I think we'll end it there for this one. Thank you very much to everyone for watching, and let me know if there are any more strange parts you'd like to see in a part 2 to this. Like I said earlier, I'm not currently planning to make one, but if there's enough reception, then I definitely will. You might have noticed this video was maybe, shall we say, a little bit faster on the editing and clip dumps compared to the other one in this series. And the reason for this is because I'm finishing up this video on Tuesday. Maybe it should release today if I'm quick, because Wednesday, tomorrow, is my birthday, and I don't want to be making videos on my birthday. I will basically be out of commission until the Wednesday next week, as I've got lots of things planned in that time, as I don't really get to see any of my family members ever. But maybe there might be the odd meme video or two in that time, I'm unsure. Last time I posted a meme video, it did incredibly well, and I was really happy about that, so expect more of that kind of content to come in the future. But anyway, thank you very much everyone for watching. Do let me know down below if there are any more strange parts you'd like me to make in a sequel, and I will see you later down the sunny road.